What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing? Welcome to Halloween. It's the 31st. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday, actually, Thursday. But yeah, hopefully, you're having a wonderful Thursday and getting ready for tonight's festivities. If you have kids, if you don't have kids and you're going to do adult festivities, hopefully, you're going to have a good time tonight. So, main thing is be safe. But welcome to Halloween. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. My name is Joe, just your average Joe. Um, we don't have a whole lot to cover today. I'm gonna go over some sales. Okay sales. We had one good sale, which helped the day between yesterday and today. One good sale. The rest have been just low dollar, not very good sales. But we're moving things out of here. That's the main thing. So slow and steady sometimes wins the race. I'm nowhere near goal for the week. So hopefully between the rest of today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. Hopefully, we crush it because I'm not even halfway to goal at this point. So it's been a pretty dismal week. Hopefully, things pick up here in November. That's all I'm going to say. Hopefully, November brings some better sales and we start to hit goal because, as I mentioned before, I'm going to start probably cross listing as of January. Dive into the cross listing and see how that goes. But if you haven't hung out with me before, I've been reselling on eBay for about 8-ish years, give or take, and full time. But I've been buying and selling stuff on eBay long time, since 2000. So I've been around a while. So we're going to go over sales. We'll go over comments. Don't have a lot of comments between yesterday and today, but we'll go ahead and knock out some comments, and then we'll knock out some sales, and I'll probably pack with you guys because I got to a late start today. So if my mail lady comes through, I'm going to have to ask her to come back unless I can get the stuff hammered out. But let's go ahead and dive into to comments. First comment, the dark 25 Twitch. I did reply to your comment just because I saw it pop through yesterday, so I went ahead and replied to it. But we'll go ahead and touch on it real quick. He basically just said, make sure that with the new PS5 Pro coming out, that I list the PS5 accordingly, and so I don't get a return on it. But I'm not going to use that as an eBay item. I'm going to use that as probably a Christmas item for Christmas, usually in my football helmet series. For folks that don't know, I do autographed football helmets on Facebook Live, break style, like raffle style format. So you can win, $1,000 items for $80, $40, stuff like that. So, long story short, usually around Christmas time, I put in PS5s, or at least I have the last couple years, maybe 3 years now. I've put in PS5s around Christmas time, or Switches, Nintendo Switches as well. So I've got one laying around. I've been using it as trade bait on Marketplace for the better part of probably 6 to 8 months now, and I've only gotten I've done that before. I watched Cody with a K. He does a lot of flipping systems. Is that my mail lady? No. He does a lot of flipping systems for retro games, so like newer systems for retro stuff. So I've done that a couple times, and it's done pretty well, but for some reason this go around, it hasn't gone well at all. This PS5 has been sitting for, like I said, 6 to 8 months. I've had probably 10 people hit it and send me stuff, but it's all been, how about this Wii U and a Nintendo? And I'm like, that's not enough, man. Like, that's nowhere near where we need to be. Like, or how about this, PS3? And I'm like, really? You're going to trade me a PS3 with a bunch of games for a PS5? Come on, we're not even right. We're not in the same ballpark. And I tell people, typically I'm looking to get a collection for, that's in the value range of about $600-700, because by the time I resell it all, you know what I mean, I'm going to be around that $500 range. So I need something at least in that 700 range as far as value goes in returns for PS5. Now, granted, now I think they're like 450 now, 500, 450, depending where you shop for them for the disc version. They were last year and the year before, they were reselling on the market for 600, but they're in stores now, and they're on sale. Sometimes you can pick them up for like 450 for the disc version. I don't believe they're any lower than that, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked in a while, but correct me if I'm wrong. But so like I said, I've been using that for trade bait for retro gaming stuff. It just hasn't gone that well with this one. So it's been sitting for, like I said, 8-ish months, and it's actually right in front of me. That's why I keep looking down at it. But I keep, so I'm going to probably just use it in my football helmet series as just another item that you could win for $40 to $80, and somebody will end up hitting that and winning that and taking that home. So that's kind of probably what I'll do with it. But either way, I'm probably not going to put it on eBay. I may leave the post up, and like I haven't got a hit on it in a while for retro game stuff. I've had some deals that got close, that we were close in value, but just never heard back from the person. I try to follow up, and then you never hear back from them. That happens all the time on Marketplace. I'm sure some of y'all know that. But anyway, so that's the plan with that. If I don't get any hits on it in the next month and a half or so, then it's going to go into a Christmas series in like late November, early December for my football helmet game and football helmet stuff, and somebody will end up winning that as an alternate option. I assign it to a football team. So I'll, whatever team I decide to assign it to, let's say the Lions, and you happen to get the Lions, and I happen to open a box that says Lions PS5, then that would be your, for $40 or $80, that end up being your PS5. That's kind of in a nutshell how that works. You may be a little confused if you don't understand how breaks work, but nonetheless, that's what'll happen. So, but let's keep moving. We only have a few other comments to cover. We got W. Collins says, I have a 10x10 full. I have a 10x10 full of inventory. I just list, and one day I'll clear the room. My problem is I get so much inventory for free. Well, if it's free, it's for me. It's I like free stuff, that's for sure. My listing is 70% free and 30% purchases, and my store hits 5,300 plus. I'm assuming 5,300 plus items, and I pick up sales daily. Well, if you have 5,300 items up, I'd imagine you're picking up sales daily. That's a lot of fucking items to have up and not get any sales. So I've got 10% of what you have up, sir. So that's good for you. Good for you for getting free stuff, W. Collins. Free stuff. We do get a lot of donations in our thrift store. Not much of it is stuff that you would sell on eBay that's really worth much. So I'm not sure how you're getting free stuff that's worth putting up on eBay, but whatever avenue you're getting free stuff to put up on eBay that's worth putting up on eBay, kudos to you, man. Hey, not everybody's blessed in that respect, and has 70% of their stuff free that they can put up on eBay. That's amazing. So anyway, congrats to you, and keep it up, man. That's awesome. Next one up is let's see. Craig says, "Hey Joe, I subscribed, and when I watched your last response video, keep being you, and your following will skyrocket." Well, I appreciate it, Craig. Thank you for hanging out. Again, thank you for subscribing, commenting. It's all part of the community and part of helping the channel and supporting the channel. Is all that stuff definitely helps, and I am just me, man. This is all raw and unedited. I'm always me. Sometimes I put my foot in my mouth and might not make some sense, or whatever the case is, but I try to do right, be right, and give you what I can to help you all along your journey, and at least be somewhat entertaining along the way. I can only be so entertaining in my garage, obviously, but I just, like you said, I just think me being me, folks enjoy it. They can feel the realism, and so that's and I enjoy replying to your comments and talking back to you guys, and responding to y'all's comments. I think that helps a lot, because it shows, I mean, like, I care about y'all and the channel. Like I otherwise I would never reply to anybody and just be like a thumbs up and keep it moving. Part of this is in engaging with you all, you know what I mean? And that I think just ultimately helps the channel, the engagement between us, between you and me, and helping folks along the way. So that's the main thing. I try to give value where I can, and that I think helps, and I guess that, like I said, that engagement. So thank you so much again, Craig. We are, by the way, we're almost at 650. We're at 648 subscribers. So we're trying to push through that 700. So hopefully the next few weeks we'll be pushing through 700. I could put every video up, a clickbait video up, or a clickbait title up. I'm not good at clickbait. The only one that I've seen that works is eBay's dead. So every now and again, when we touch on eBay being dead, I'll put that in the title, because it is technically part of what we're talking about. And that does tend to get a lot more traction, a lot more views, a lot more subscribers, a lot more engagement, which is great. But, I'm just trying to, whatever title I decide to put up, whether it works or not, I could do a better job. Don't get me wrong. I could probably do a better job of titles to engage and get more people. But at the end of the day, I'm not that creative with titles. I probably should start looking at some other creators to see what videos do well and what their titles are, and maybe do a few videos like that, maybe try to get more people. But at the end of the day, we'll get there slowly but surely, whether I do that or not. I do think getting some GoPro footage out there as well, out in the wild and stuff like that, will bring a different type of viewer that likes that kind of stuff too. And I'm sure a lot of you guys would enjoy that as well. That's coming. It's coming. It may not happen till the spring. It may dibble dabble in it in the fall or here in the winter time to try to get used to doing it and doing a little bit of editing. But we'll see how it goes. But if I can do one of those, I think. Um, Kurt was the one that said, do one a week, just do one a week. You know what I mean? And do very little editing and just throw one out there a week and see how it goes. So that's going to be something I try and dabble in here in the coming future, in the near future. We'll just say that. So the next one up is that I reply to you. I did. The next one up is Tahoe Realm. Haven't heard from you in a few days. Thank you, Tahoe, for hanging out and commenting once again in your support. Tahoe says, "Hey Joe, could you talk briefly about the early days of eBay and how payments were handled? Wasn't buying anything on eBay back, so love to hear what it was like. Thanks." So Tahoe Realm, funny you said that. So back in the day, um, eBay, PayPal was in its infancy back then. Like it was around, but eBay wasn't married with PayPal back then. So PayPal was an option, but it wasn't a huge option. Like back in 2000, 2001. Again, they weren't married. At some point, like mid 2000s, I don't know, 2006, 7, somewhere around that range, 10 maybe even 2010, eBay and PayPal married together, and that was like the main way of paying through through the payment platform was PayPal, and it grew over time, and then they finally married themselves together. I think at one point the companies merged, or eBay, I think they merged, and then they ended up separating again or something. I don't know all the history of it. I'd have to look it up. Y'all can confirm that for me, whoever actually knows the story or wants to look it up and confirm it. But either way, back then you would checks were an option. You could send somebody a check. People would even send people cash, which is crazy to me. But people would send people cash back then, and money orders or Western Union. And so checks, you do the Western Union checks. You can go to I think you can still do it now. I think you can go into I think my gas station does Western Union still, where you can go in and give them money, and then there's a fee, and then they give you a Western Union check, I believe is how it still works. But anyway, you would have to wait. So if you're the seller, you would have to wait for the check or money, cash, or Western Union, money order, whatever it is that they're sending, regular old check, you'd have to wait to get it, wait for it to cash and clear. Usually, Western Union was pretty much fail safe. Western Union was guaranteed funds. Money order typically is also guaranteed funds, but a regular check from somebody's bank account, which was also accepted. Now you could select as a seller what you wanted in forms of payment. So you could select, I don't want regular checks, money order, digital, whether it be PayPal or a third party payment platform, which there was a bunch of those back then too. Some sketchy ones as well, not very protected, but there were some third party marketplace payment platforms back then that were very, like I said, they weren't the greatest, they weren't the most secure, but there were other options other than PayPal to do third-party payment platforms. And I never messed with any of those, but a lot of times when you would check out with other sellers, they would take you to their preferred marketplace for checkout through digital funds or through online payment, which again PayPal was not the number one back then. PayPal was not used a ton. I'll just say that it was an option, but it wasn't one of the main options. So you would have to wait to get wait for the check to clear if it was a personal check, and then send the item out once that check cleared. And y'all know, checks bounce. So people will be sending bogus checks, and that was a big problem back then too. So a lot of sellers would just do, money order or Western Union because those are guaranteed funds. So it was wild back then. And like I said, the digital platforms, there was PayPal, but it was in its infancy back then, and it was a lot of third party, and when I say a lot, maybe a handful of third party payment platforms that were approved by eBay, that sellers were using, and it would take you to some weird ass website that you'd be like, what is this? Some whatever marketplace dot whatever payment platform, and you're just like, okay, I mean, this is how if I want to pay digitally, this is the option because this is what this seller offers or has. So Personally, I never did checks or money order or Western Union or any of that stuff. I always went through third-party payment platforms if that's the only option the seller had, or PayPal, because PayPal was still a secure and legit, but it wasn't big yet. It hadn't gotten big yet. So it was wild back then, man. It was a wild west. It was crazy. I just think it's nuts that, how things have changed. Now it's like instant, instant, instant. Back then, man, money order, Western Union, personal checks. I mean, there was no plugging in your credit card and paying through eBay directly. Like now you can put your credit card into eBay and just pay with your credit card or debit card direct through eBay guaranteed funds or whatever it's called. I forget what it is, but basically through eBay direct. So that's, like that wasn't an option back then. Like those were not options. It was wild. I remember people used to jack up like shipping rates and charge like 99. Now this went on until probably mid 2000s. This is a different subject, but people would, the way to get around fees back then was to charge, they wouldn't fee shipping. So you would do an item, let's say you had $100 item, right? And you're trying to get around fees. And this is the way the old school used to work. I'm sure some of y'all know this and some of y'all did this. I know I did this. You would charge 99 cents for the item and you would charge $90 in shipping. And that was like a regular thing. People understood like that's everybody kind of knew why you were doing that. You were trying to get away from paying fees, and that went on for a long time, until I don't know exactly when that changed. Probably again mid 2000s or something like that. Early to mid 2000s is when that changed. Here comes Amazon. So that was another thing where people were again just and now that's why shipping is feed as well, because eBay was like, well, fuck that. We're going to start charging all you MFers fees too for shipping. And so, you know what I mean? So that changed that now. So that doesn't matter. Whatever it is, the whole cost it as a whole is getting feed, including shipping. So, but that's so, that's just again, going back to Wild West days. That's the only other one that I can think off the top of my head. If any of y'all have stories about old eBay, any of y'all that are watching any old school eBay stories or old school platform or how eBay used to work, I could help jog my memory, because there's some other things that used to happen on eBay that were pretty crazy, that would never happen today. So anyway, hopefully that's you got a little entertainment out of that little oh, that's crazy. So anyway, Tahoe, thank you again for commenting. That's all the comments. We are pretty much clear there. So this will be a shorter video, 30-ish minutes, maybe 35 if I pack with you guys. But we had a total of 6 sales for $267.45. Now, granted, that's everything. That's fees. That's not including fees. That's shipping included. That's all of it. So obviously we did hit goal, because it's not gonna. I'm only gonna pay like $30, not even 30, probably $25-ish, $20 in shipping and then fees. So I'll still clear the 200 for the day, which is nice. So between yesterday and today, I did hit goal. That's awesome. However, we also had 2 days of not hitting goal back to back. So, and we had like a $35 day. So we really need to make up some ground. So hopefully between today and tomorrow and over the weekend, we start crushing, because I am nowhere near goal at this point. I think right now I'm set to deposit like $350. Now, granted, I got like 4 days, but still it's like 3.5, 4 days. But still it's like, man, I got a lot of ground to make up, man. So, and I've been putting stuff up. I will say that I've been hammering out, putting items up. I put 2 Super Nintendos up last night. I put a PSP up. I should have done a video on it, but I fixed a PSP. I swapped out the joystick. Super easy to do on a PSP. So if any of you guys have joysticks, aren't working on a PSP, don't be intimidated. Super easy. LCD screen on a PSP, pretty freaking easy. Those are the 2 that I've done lately. I actually swapped out the guts of a Super Nintendo, one that was super yellowed and just nasty, like way, way yellow. The purple wasn't even purple on the buttons anymore. It was nasty, nasty. I swapped out the guts of that, because that one was working, even though it was nasty colored. And then I had one that was beautiful, gray, no yellowing, but it didn't power up. Now I could tell the power was jacked up, and I have replaced the power thing. You got to solder 2 points. It's actually not too bad. I don't like to solder and mess with soldering, but that one I have done before, and it's pretty easy. But what was it? It was that, and then it was also the ribbon cable from the controller port to the board. That ribbon cable totally messed up when I pulled it out. Like all the pins broke on it. So I went to order that and the power thing, and it was going to be like $20-ish, $20-25 for those 2 parts. But then I said, you know what? Bump it. The one that's yellowed is so bad, like probably the worst Super Nintendo I've ever had. I said, you know what? I'm just going to take the guts of that one because it works, put it in the one that's nice and beautiful, and then just, I should have put it up for parts and repair, but I just chucked it. It was so brittle, and it was like I said, it was the yellowest, nastiest ones I've ever seen as far as the coloring, discoloring on it. So I just said, I'm not even going to put that up on eBay. And the guts now are from the one that didn't work. So the internals didn't work. The outside was trash. So I just threw that one away. And now I got a nice, awesome, gray, beautiful one that I put up for premium, $200, with 5 games, 2 controllers, the HDMI upgrade, as well, the adapter. So I put that one up for $200, make an offer. Most of the time I put mine up for about 160, 170, or 170, 180. If they have a little bit of yellowing, but are still really nice condition, and 5 games, blah, blah, blah. I don't sell a ton of them, but around Christmas time last year, I killed it at 200. So I'm hoping I start to move. I think I got 6 of them. I'm sitting on like 6 of them, 5 of them right now. So I'm hoping now we're getting close to Christmas. I start moving some of these at 170, 180. I'll take offers probably for 160. And then the nice gray one, hopefully I can get the 200 or at least 180 out of that one. But all of them I bundle with Mario. I ran out of Mario, so like one of them I bundled with Donkey Kong Country and like Killer Instinct to make up for Mario. So we'll see. Put up the PSP that I fixed last night. Put up some clothes this morning. I got a bunch of empty Game Boy boxes. Not very good games, but a bunch of probably like 15 empty Game Boy boxes that I got from a pickup from an old buddy of mine that had a lot of really good stuff. If y'all remember that video a long time ago. But anyway, it was like last year, maybe even longer than that, but it's been a little while. Well, it couldn't have been last year because it would have been early this year. It would have been back in like April or March because it was early this year. But either way, there's a box. I still have a bin full of like a bunch of Atari empty boxes, Game Boy empty boxes, and an Atari that I need to get through and get rid of that stuff and just list it and have somebody help somebody complete their inbox Atari collection because it's all box and manual with no game. And my plan was to find the games, marry them together, and sell them as a premium. But I don't mess with Atari very much, and I haven't over the past since I got the collection. I haven't messed with much. I don't see a ton of Atari stuff out there regularly, so I was going through that stuff today, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and start getting rid of this stuff and help other people, so I can sell the boxes for, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks a piece, get rid of them, move them, and help somebody marry their stuff with their, and it kind of manuals too. They all have the manuals in the box. They just don't have the games. So anyway, I'm rambling. Let's go over sales again. 6 sales, 267.45. The big sale was 170. Was the big sale, which was a Dreamcast. I normally sell Dreamcasts pretty good for pretty good money, so this is an example. I just got to find it now. Dreamcast. So yeah, Dreamcasts are always pretty good when it comes to those. Nintendo. Let's see. Let's find this Dreamcast. Dreamcast, where are you? Oh, it's over there. All right. GameCube, Dreamcast with games. So I got a Dreamcast with games, and I think I already sold the Dreamcast without games. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that sold last week. So this is the one with games. I want to say it's modded because it's got a Half-Life, which I tested and it did load. That's burnt. So I want to say it might be modded, but I didn't list it as modded. But nonetheless, very nice condition. No yellowing. Dreamcast. It's got the VMU there. You can see it. Controller, cables, connections, and then it's got some games with it. Nothing crazy, but it's got a little stack of games with it. With Half-Life that's burnt. Again, 170 plus shipping on that one. Sold a Columbia Fleece medium. Columbia Fleece. Have I ever said I hate clothes? But they do sell now that wintertime's coming finally. Some of these fleeces, starting to sell these fleeces. Columbia medium. Pretty sure that's it right there. This sold nothing crazy. I usually pick these up for like $1 at a yard sales. So this one is fleece jacket, men's, medium, Columbia. Again, we've been selling some clothes lately. I'll say that. Finally starting to get rid of some of these clothes. So That sold for $11. Nothing crazy. $11 plus shipping on that one. So again, nothing nuts, but you know, $1 to $10, you know, or $9 after fees. Actually, I'm probably profit a buck or two on shipping too, but you know, still about $10, $1 to 10. I mean, if you do it enough times, it's worth it. I don't like doing it, but you know, it is what it is. I had it up for 15 and somebody, they offered me 10. They offered me 10. I countered at 13. They offered 11. I said, bump it. I was like, just take it. I need it out of here. I got $1 into it. So let's go. All right. Next thing up is Crash Bandicoot 3. Crash Bandicoot 3. Loose disc on PS2. There it is. Crash Bandicoot. All right. Let's look at this real quick. All right. You can see a lot better. Like I can see a lot better in the sun than I can in when I'm upstairs. But anyway, Crash Bandicoot on PS2, PS1 rather, PS1 sold for $10, $11, $10.79 free shipping. Gran Turismo. Let's find old Gran Turismo. I think that's sold for whopping Need for Speed Gran Turismo XL. So this sold for another $11.69 on this one. Beautiful. $11.69 on this one. No manual. $11.69 free shipping. Nothing crazy. Tony Hawk and Underground. Tony Hawk on PS2. Tony Hawk on PS2. There's that. And then Need for Speed Underground on Xbox. So Tony Hawk sold for $13 free shipping. Tony Hawk. Let's check that one again. I can see so much better with the sun light. So I always like to double check. And Need for Speed Underground. Let me check this one too. This one sold for not too bad. This one sold for $9, $10 free shipping on that one. $10 free shipping on that one. So nothing crazy. So that's it. That's those are the sales. Nothing nuts. That's all I got for you guys. I'm gonna get this stuff packed up. We're under 30 minutes, so that's good. If y'all have any questions about anything, make sure you drop it. I'm here to help the best that I can. I like to feed off of your comments, so drop comments. Let me know if you have questions about anything, packing, shipping, sourcing, eBay stuff, settings, marketing, whatever I can help with. I mean, taxes, but I'm not a tax professional, but I can only give you my experience and for where I'm at. Whatever it is that you have questions about that can help you along your journey, please ask. I'm here to help. But that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you subscribe. If you got anything out of this, enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe. Again, we're knocking at the door of 650, and we're trying to push our way to 700 subscribers. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Again, my name is Joe. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Have a safe and awesome Halloween, and we will see y'all tomorrow. Assuming we have sales, I'll be back tomorrow. Bye, guys.